Hello all. I hope you people are doing good. So in today's session, I'm going to explain about the economic planning. So in the last video, I have explained about the central problems of an economy and what are the types of economic system. If you people haven't watched, I'll attach the link in the description box. You can just have a look. So now we will see what is economic planning. So what happened actually after India became independent in 1947, it adopted a mixed economy where the government and the private sector would work together. Okay, so after that what happened? India, however, faced the many economic problem because of the British rule. The Indian economy was very poor, very backward, stagnant economy at that time. Now, therefore, the government need to improve and rebuild the economy. Okay. So now for the Indian economy, it was like super necessary for the government to plan the economy. So that planning is called as the economic planning. If you see the proper definition, economic planning can be defined as making the major economic decisions regarding what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce by the conscious decision of a determinate authority on the basis of comprehensive survey of economy as a whole. That means the government will decide the important question like what goods should be produced in India and how we can just produce that goods either by using more laborers or either by using more machines, and for whom we are going to produce the goods in our country. So now they'll make such decisions, and they will not make that decisions like randomly. They'll carefully think, they'll carefully analyze that. There will be some authority, like there will be planning commission, and now it is called as Niti Ayog. Okay, Niti Ayog serves as a policy think tank rather than just preparing some 5-year plans here. Okay, similarly if you consider PC Mahalanobis, he's known as the architect of the Indian economic planning. Okay, his contribution is more here. Actually, the Industrial Policy Resolution of 1948 and the DPSP, the Constitution DPSP, now these assigned a leading role to the public sectors here. Okay, and even private sector were also encouraged to participate in these plans efforts here, because government itself can't do everything. So even government need the help of the private peoples, so that only economy can run in an effective manner. Okay, so to make this economic planning super effective, now the government of India actually it set up something called as Planning Commission in 1950. So at that time the chairmanship was under the control of, basically it's at then Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ji. Okay na. So basically you remember the Planning Commission fixed the planning period at how many years? 5 years. And from then we call it as a 5-year plans. Okay. So now we will see what are the goals of the 5-year plans here. So find the 5-year plans, they were like more concerned with, they wanted to remove the economic backwardness of India, and basically they wanted to make India as a developed economy, because Britishers were ruling India at that time. The whole India was in poverty. It was a stagnant economy, very poor economy it was. So the goal is to move India from backward economy to the developed economy here. Okay, and also the main goal of 5-year plan is to ensure that the weaker section of the population will benefit here, and even the country is also getting progress. Okay, then who launched this first 5-year plan means it's a Nehru ji in the parliament. On which date? On the 1st April 1951. And this first 5-year plan, it ended on 31st March 1956. So in 1951, the first 5-year plan happened, and the last 5-year plan happened in from 2012 to 17. That was a 12th 5-year plan. Okay, so basically what are the goals is of the 5-year plan? That is a growth, and to have a look on modernization, self-reliance and equity. Now we will study one by one. So what is a growth now? Yeah, what is growth means? It is increase in the country's capacity to produce the output of goods and service within a country itself. Okay, so that means increasing the country's ability to produce more goods and services, that we called economic growth. Why was growth important? Because under the British rule, India's economy became stagnant, and even after independence, India needed to increase the production and income. So for an example, if India produced 100 lakh tons of wheat in a year and 120 lakh tons in the next year, that means we can tell the production has been increased. Thus, we call it as economic growth. Okay, so then what are the benefits of growth? There will be a more production. More production leads to more employment. More employment leads to more income. More income means the better standard of living. If they have a better income, employment means of course it reduces poverty. This is the benefit of the growth. Now this was the goal of the 5-year plan. Okay, and also even the growth also implies either a large stock of productive capital. Productive capital means these are the assets which are used to produce goods and service. Let's say it might be the machines, it might be the factories, it might be some buildings or the roads, like that. So let's say for an example, if India builds more factories, more highways, more power station, means its productive capacity increases. We can say like that. Okay, and if our country has a better transportation and banking services, then also we can tell yes, the economic growth is happening in our country. And now see, which is that very good indicator of economic growth means it's a GDP. Yes, I know you people know what is GDP, right? GDP means the value of all the final goods and services which are produced in our country during a period of 1 year. We call it as GDP. Okay, so if the increase in GDP, or if the people has that access to the goods and services, means if they have a better income, they will spend more. If the people spend more, there will be a more GDP of the country here. So GDP means it not only include the service sector, it include even primary, secondary as well as tertiary sectors here. Okay, so but in some country the agriculture will contribute more to the GDP, but in some countries service sector will contribute lot to the GDP. It depends upon that particular country's structure here, or the composition, we can say that. Okay now, and the next goal is it's a modernization. So what is modernization? Modernization means it even include the adoption of new technology here. That means improved technology. Remember, improved technology, it increases the productivity. For example, if you take old farming methods like using the bullocks or the wooden plow, from using that you can't grow more or you can't produce more. But if you take modern farming, they are using tractors, harvesters, drip irrigation, or high yield variety seeds. from using the modern farming, now they can able to produce more. So that's the power of adopting to the new technology. And next one is it's a change in the social outlook. That means modernization is not only about the machines here. It also means you're changing the outdated attitudes. For example, even people should support a gender equality. People are supporting the women's education, or people are supporting the equal employment opportunities. Okay, like gender empowerment, equal rights to the women. Okay, even that is also considered as the modernization here. And the third one is it's a self reliance. What is self reliance? Self reliance means you are overcoming the need of the external assistance. That means India should reduce the dependency on the foreign loans or the foreign aids, or even might be the imports. Instead, it should use its own resources to produce the goods here. Like domestic resources means it might be the Indian labors or Indian industries or Indian natural resources or Indian technology. These are the domestic resources. So basically the goal is we should try to produce most of the things in our country instead of depending on other country here. That is all about the self reliance. Okay, and the goal of self reliance was given the priority during the first 7 5-year plans here. Okay, so why the policy of self reliance was given the importance is, first is to reduce the foreign dependence, and next is to avoid any foreign interference. Okay, so what is this to avoid foreign interference? Let's say if India depends too much on the foreign countries for the food, for technology, for the loan means, those countries might influence our country's economic decisions or policy. So therefore now India wanted to remain politically and economically independent. Okay, so these are the three goals, and the last goal is a equity here. Okay, last goal is a equity, and the last goal is it's a equity here. What is equity? So it means like economic growth alone, it is not enough here. Even if the economy grows, the poorer people may remain poor and rich people may become richer, and thus the inequality may rise, inequality may increase. So the benefits of development must reach the everyone. That is equity here. That means economic development should benefit to the rich people also, to the poor people also, for urban people, for rural people, even for the farmers, workers, everybody here. Okay, so like that, according to the equity here, every Indian should get the basic needs like basic food facility, basic house, a basic education, basic healthcare facilities. Okay, there should be a equal distribution. The inequality of the distribution of wealth should be reduced in this case. People's standard of living should increase. So that's the main objective of the equity. So I hope you people understood. If you have any queries, let me know in the comment section. I will take that question in the next class, or I will try to explain that in the comment section itself. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.